emailed me and said, are hugs in pro wrestling overdone? I see it more in indie wrestling than WWE because of the storylines or whatnot. It's like everyone is friends with everyone. The illusion of a major feud that could have been with two wrestlers that have chemistry is tarnished because of a hug at the end of a match. I feel the hug or handshake at the end of the match should be done as an angle, or if the wrestlers have a significant history, or damn it, put on a classic. Hugs, kisses, and shaking hands to me should be done in the back where fans cannot see, and keep it kayfabe because of a promotion planned to make a big feud against the two wrestlers, big feud between the two wrestlers where he's going. I feel it won't be as believable if the hug handshake was done prior. Is it overdone, or am I overthinking it?
A good question that turned into a scintillating monologue.
Yes. Well, but here's the thing. That's what I had to figure that out with Ring of Honor, because they had established the Code of Honor, which was a big part of Ring of Honor and why that the fans, liked it, etc. The handshake before and after the match. But originally that was done for, Gabe and the guys that set Ring of Honor up originally. It was for a niche audience. And I'm not knocking them, but it was for an audience that wanted to see what I guess they've come up with the term work rate wrestling, right? Where it was all the indie guys because they were trying to sell DVDs, and it was all the tapes in those days. It was all the indie guys that did cool moves that certain age group and demographic and niche audience followed around or followed their work, and they could get them together and they could sell the DVDs. Is that basically the summation as you understand it?
Yeah, and it kind of set the trend for a while on the indie scene with every match had to end with handshakes and hugs, and everyone, appreciates the other person competing with them.
Well, and that was, once again, that was fine. But, however, for the same reason as he just wrote and asked, that ain't going to fly, and people ain't going to understand it, and they ain't going to give a shit on a more mainstream basis. So with Ring of Honor, when we went on TV with Sinclair, the Code of Honor was an important part of what they had done in their history. But so I looked at it as a chance to figure out a way to actually make heels in this world and identify who the real shit heels were. And we actually made the Code of Honor part of the tail of the tape. Remember, height, weight, fucking hometown or whatever the fuck it was, and Code of Honor, yes or no.
Yeah.
And basically we explained that the Code of Honor that these athletes, in Ring of Honor that they feel is the basis of their company is that they're going to kick the shit out of each other in the ring, but it's all in good sportsmanship and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to fight hard and then respect each other. And all the baby faces obviously are going to do that. And some of the heels will do it. But they do it in their own condescending way, whether it's the real, like Roderick Strong, if he stuck his hand out and spit in the palm of his hand and then handed it to the guy or whatever the fuck, or in a condescending way or whatever their heel manner was. But the real assholes, Code of Honor, no, we're not shaking anybody's hand. You had to have that because it couldn't be, this niche indie playtime business now with everybody's performing for you, because that was not going to be the audience that was going to sustain them. So we tried to use that as a way to give the matches more credibility, and at the same time to identify already the heels by their attitude and by them turning down the opportunity to be communal with all of their brethren in the locker room. That was the way that I thought that we could make it work and explain it. But, the whole point is no. You can't most of the time, really. It's preferable for the guys not to maybe shake hands beforehand, especially if the heel is being the asshole and I'm going to fucking take you out in 15 seconds or whatever. But no, nobody should be shaking hands at the end unless it's a specific story and done sparingly, because it's just fucking – then you're basically – you're admitting the performance, because it's not like after a UFC fight where the guys weren't fighting dirty. They both wanted to win and it was a shoot, but they weren't fighting dirty. One guy has been fighting fucking dirty in this match, so the babyface wouldn't shake his hand if he had any balls. So that's why the babyfaces can shake hands, yes, because they didn't fucking fight like heels. But if a guy heels you and then you shake his hand, you're a fucking idiot. So it is way overdone and way too relied upon by, once again, the wrestlers that are fans of the performance of wrestling instead of the concept of wrestling, in my opinion.
What'd you think of the handshake after the Flair Terry Funk I Quit match? It's like all of a sudden Terry Funk instantly turns babyface. I said I'd shake your hand, and Flair's all of a sudden like, just shake it, yelling at him.
Yeah, well, I think they were rushing him at that point, to be honest. I would have preferred to seen Terry get all the way up to his feet. I think he was still on his knees, kind of, wasn't he, when they did something. But it was a quick handshake. I think it's something they came up with because that's when Terry found out that they were basically retiring him. That, once again, Herd thought that Terry Funk was too old. He wanted to put him on the creative team, which he did for a while, and Terry couldn't get anything done any more than the rest of us could. But he was and make him an announcer. But when he lost that match, they were retiring him, and I think it was somewhat news to Terry that he would not be in the ring anymore, because even though he had come out of retirement kind of to do that angle in that program, he had, and it had run about what 6-7 months.
Yeah.
He was willing to do a bit more because he was still under contract, obviously, and to do some other things and that, so anyway, I don't know whether it's something that they came up with right beforehand that Terry wanted to do since he thought that'd be his last match, but the flavor of it was to make Terry come out sympathetic at the end and have Gary Hart and the rest of his guys really have the heat to continue on with Flair because Terry wasn't going to be in the ring anymore. So the handshake was awkward. It was awkward there. And let me say this: the handshake was not that there shouldn't have been a handshake, but it was executed in an awkward fashion because they were rushing somehow or whatever the fuck.